My name is Joel Nicholas Peterson, and I'm living in Vancouver, BC.
So this old warehouse downtown's getting demolished, and I want to turn it into a giant disposable camera. I think I'm going to build 4 of them, like north, south, east, and west. And I plan on using this ancient technique called the camera obscura. I don't know if you've heard of it. But this massive camera, you need massive film. So I got a couple of these big, heavy 100-foot rolls of lithographic film. And I'm just going to expose all of it. And then use all the negatives to make giant contact prints using the cyanotype process, which is like also the original blueprint.
This is a pinhole camera made from things like poster board and hockey tape. Basically, we're building giant pinhole cameras. To do so, we're knocking out some floors and some walls, turning multiple units into larger rooms. There we go. Alright.
So these won't be like quick snapshots or anything, because the room's really dark and the film's really slow.
We had to build kind of like levels and stairs and stuff like that to get up there so that we could actually reach 14 feet to pin it up.
Shutter's just gonna be a piece of tape, so as soon as the time's right, just remove the tape and start the clock. And just go for it. So the exposure time's gonna be at least 26 minutes for the dark areas, maybe less if it's really bright outside, but about 6 minutes for the light areas, 26 for dark areas.
So the chemicals I'm using for the lithographic film are identical to your typical darkroom chemicals. You have your developer, your stop bath, your fixer, and your washing bath, if you'd like. So you run through those stages, rinsing off the film after the stop and after your fixer, and doing a final wash with water, a few times over. And so it's basically the same process, just a bit of a new twist, because developing a 4x8 foot piece of film can't easily be done in trays. Definitely not efficiently or effectively. So the method I came up with is using manually pumped chemical sprayers that you buy in the paint store. And this was after a lot of trial and error, kind of experimenting with how to possibly develop these mega format negatives. So I found the sprayers to work the best for this, and using a drainage system, kind of collect the chemicals and reuse the chemicals as much as possible. The idea of the project is to have both the negatives and the positives together as a diptych or as a pair, because both are so important to the final outcome and the idea of the project itself. I chose the cyanotype process because it's extremely efficient for this job. It's only a 2-part process. You mix the chemicals together, paint them on, let it dry, and expose it with UV light with a contact print using your negative. Ideally, we wanted to use the sunlight because, all you need is UV light to expose cyanotypes. So that would be ideal. Use the sunlight to make the prints, and even use the rain to develop them. Being Vancouver and being like winter now, we don't get a lot of sunlight, let alone it would just be so variable, the intensity of the light and the exposure times required. It would be pretty hard to calculate and get consistency. So I'm going to build an exposure unit that just basically burns these prints with UV and then just process them with water. I liked the idea of using the blueprint for these buildingscapes because all of these buildings had blueprints and you can just reproduce it. So probably one of the most archival photographic processes. So this is a 7-foot by 4-foot, just the left panel of the east camera. And it's all green and yellow because we haven't washed it yet. And when it gets washed, it's going to just turn blue and white. And then when it dries, it's going to be a really rich, like archival dark blue cyanotype.
BigPicture it for a minute and just give it a second wash. Blueprints for observation. The camera obscura itself is a blueprint for the modern camera, and this tool that keeps evolving and changing and advancing. On another level, the blueprint itself is a map of the future. It's a design for buildings and cities and structures. And in this case, we've just used it to capture the present.